I'm pretty new to the Transformers community because I didn't watch much of it when I was younger. I was a little too young to watch this masterpiece, and Rescue Bots was barely on in Canada, although that show is goated. That means that by process of elimination, you might have figured out that the first one I got to properly watch was... Fast forward a bit to the pandemic where I'm watching Transformers animated, and if I'm being real, that show is really good. But the one show I saw everybody agree was the best was Transformers Prime, and to be honest, I thought it was kinda overhyped. And then I watched it, and now I'm confident in saying that this show is the best Transformers show of all time that I've watched. I mean, G1, Beast Wars, and Armada are probably really good, I don't know. Point being, the show is fire. Can you subscribe and that'd be really cool. Okay, I don't want to sound too cringe, but you guys do have to admit the show was kind of mature. I'm not saying all shows have to be dark or anything like that, but it is kind of weird how edgy this show was, and I mean that in a good way. For a dumb kid's show, I did not expect to be so invested in whether or not the main characters won or not. Not only that, but the characters talk and act so realistic too. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the show is mature for a kid's show, but in a really cool way, as opposed to being just really boring for no reason. Plus, the character designs go hard for no reason. It looks like the Michael Bay ones, but this time you can actually draw the characters. When you look at Optimus, you might think that he's a little boring, but man, I didn't really want to say this, but you do have to admit he just has that aura. If you want proof, there's that one episode where Ratchet does roids and beats everybody up, but when he tries to jump Megatron, he gets folded, and then Optimus shows up, and that only makes it look so much cooler when they're having their sick fight. I'm not a power scaler, but that looks so cool, man. Not only that, but he's also a lot more complex than you might think. This man just wants nothing more than the best for his people, and it shows when you compare him to literally everybody else on his team. It's not like he's perfect either. He lets this man live way too many times than he realistically should have, and he has to deal with the consequences of that multiple times. Honestly, he's the second best character in the show, no joke. In case you're wondering who number one is, I'll give you a hint. It's the baddest character in the show, not her. I'm talking about Jack's mom. Honestly, still kind of crazy how she tried pulling Optimus, but I'm not judging.
So, where's Optimus?
On a scouting mission with Bumblebee. Sorry to disappoint.
And I wore heels and everything.
RC gets a weirdly large amount of focus on her throughout the show, but I don't mind, she's still pretty cool. I've seen some people call her edgy, but to be honest, she kinda has a reason to be. Both Cliff Jumper and this other guy who didn't even have his face shown died. I think she's allowed to be a little mean. To be fair, if both of your boyfriends die, you should probably consider that you're the problem. For real though, the best character is probably just Bulkhead. I really hate the dumb ooga booga big strong type of character. That's my least favorite character archetype ever. Luckily for us, Bulkhead is not that in the slightest. He's just a really realistic, super likable guy. And I'm pretty sure that anybody who's watched the show can come to the same conclusion. Also, I just think it's really funny how he's basically a dad.
Look, Miko, before I became a warrior, I was a laborer. Construction. I can build stuff, I can break stuff, and that's it. Oh, where would you want to be like me when you can be a medic like Ratchet? Ancient Greece, huh? Oh, field trip.
Actually, no, he's more like the dad who stepped up. Ultra Magnus has a really goofy name, but I think he has the best introduction in the entire show.
How did you find your way to Earth?
Soldier, we may not be on Cybertron, but military protocol remains.
My apologies, sir.
In that scene, he's not a bad guy or anything like that. He's just doing what he thinks is best to help his people, which is to maintain order. The person watching the show might have some beef with him for being such an old head, but that's as far as it goes. My boy just isn't used to how chill Team Optimus is. Even though he was introduced in the incredibly rushed Season 3, he still manages to have a really consistent character arc. I almost forgot about him, but Ratchet is also a really cool guy. He's also an old head, but he's been with Optimus since day one, so he's a really chill old head. All he wants is for everybody to live, and he's really against the idea of taking risks that could cost lives, except for that one time where he took space roids. That was really funny.
How's it humming?
Did he just?
I kind of have some beef with these next few characters, but I don't think they're really bad or anything like that. It is painfully obvious that Smokescreen was definitely supposed to do more stuff in Season 3. It just sucks how messed up production was for the writers back then. His character arc is kind of like Ultra Magnus's, but in the exact opposite, where he goes from idiot kid to what should have been the main character. And by that, I mean he gets faced with the horrors of war. Point being, good character, just should have done more. Or maybe don't tease him becoming the next main character and then do absolutely nothing with it. Even he is mad about it.
I was nearly a prime, but somehow I'm still a rookie.
Wheeljack is sick, I just wish he showed up more. I get it, that's your gimmick, but you could stay with the team for a little longer. He gets the sickest fight in the entire show and doesn't even stay for long periods of time. That is not fair, dog. Alright, these next two are kind of connected, so I'm gonna just ask you this one question. If the majority of you guys say that it's Optimus, then I'm just an idiot. But if you didn't say Optimus, you probably think that it's either Jack or Bumblebee, and to be honest, I still think that's stretching it. Looking back, Bumblebee does not have that much significance in the story as far as I remember. He's there, but he has nowhere near as much significance as everybody else on the team, excluding the humans. It's definitely not Jack either. Granted, he does get a lot more focus in season 1, but after the whole Optimus memory thing, he's kinda irrelevant. Like, he's a cool character and my favorite of the humans, but like, he doesn't do much after this moment in particular. Also, can we all collectively remember that his introduction was basically just him sexually harassing a motorcycle?
Where have you been all my life? Nice. It may take a few KO paychecks, but I am gonna own a ride like you someday.
Like, even if that wasn't a sentient robot, that is still kind of weirdo behavior. Miko is cool, but like, even I know why people hate her. She has this weird habit of jumping into an active war zone, and I can definitely see why that annoys some people. The sad part is that she takes a really long time to learn that lesson. The lesson being that you shouldn't jump into an active war zone because that's bad. But she eventually grows as a character, and that's why I'm willing to let it slide. Although if you can't, I can't really blame you. Raph's just kind of there. His only memorable moments consist of him talking to Bumblebee for some reason and getting cancer. I don't really hate him, he's just kind of forgettable. Megatron is goated. I have no problems with him. 10 out of 10 character. Starscream is just kind of wild. I guess that's the best way to describe him. I really like how he goes from trying to kill Megatron in season 1 to trying to survive in season 2 and then resort to glazing Megatron in season 3. That is the best character arc in anything ever. Knockout is funny and I really like his design. He's like Starscream because he has all those crazy impulsive thoughts, except unlike Starscream, he does not act on all of them. Fun fact, if you search up wasted potential on Google Images, the second picture will be breakdown. The first picture is Jack, but you already know why. To this day, I simply do not understand how they fumbled the bag with this dude so heavily. They had a perfectly good character who had an infinite amount of possibilities and they kill him. Like, come on bro, that's kinda cringe. Arachnid is responsible for my favorite episodes in the show, and her interactions with Jack and RC are really fun. Her entire character is just being a hater, and I really like that. Soundwave has a really cool fight with Wheeljack, but that's really it. And I don't know if I'm gonna get flamed for this, but Shockwave, I kinda forgot about him. Dreadwing has the exact same problem as Breakdown, except he's an arguably cooler character. Mainly because he makes Starscream his bitch. Point being, he was a character with a lot of potential, and then they kill him off. Seriously man, I like it when there's deaths in kids shows. That's awesome and has definitely never traumatized me before ever. But when you keep killing off the best characters in your show, it gets really annoying. I guess this kinda segues into the next section of the video. This show drops plotlines harder than I was dropped on my head when I was born. And I do not say that lightly. Remember that one time when Bulkhead got cancer? Wait, shoot, I said that already. Remember that one time Bulkhead got cancer? Sorry y'all, I don't really have any new material. Remember when they kept hyping it up saying that Bulkhead might never fight again even if he survives? And for the next few episodes he's literally out of the team? You think that he'd actually be done, but nah, he's back just like a while later. I kinda wish we got an explanation for that, but whatever. And weren't the Predacons supposed to do more? Like they changed the name of the final season to Beast Hunters.
Autobots, we must become beast hunters.
That line sucked. And then they take up half of season 3's runtime and then literally nothing interesting is done. This one's kinda nitpicky, but like, you guys know these off-brand great value stormtroopers? Yeah, why were the ones in the first episode so cracked? Later on in the show, they get mowed down like they're nothing, but these guys are just kinda wild, and for no reason to be honest. Another nitpick is that they really should have used the relics more. And why did they get rid of the sword so quickly, man? I remember getting a McDonald's toy of Optimus with his sword when I was like really young, and Optimus has it for like 2 episodes. Like, what was even the point? They set up a lot of stuff and don't deliver on a lot of it, which makes me kind of sad. Normally, I'm not the type of dude to get super mad at missed potential, even though I'm probably gonna do that in the future. I'm sorry in advance. But I think my main issue with the show is that they have a lot of build-up and they don't deliver on a lot of it, which is just kind of sad. For example, Bulkhead getting cancer. Smallpox was a cool idea with some good setup, but he's back on his feet with no explanation. Breakdown dies and had his dead corpse used by other people, but nobody really cares. It's little things like that that kind of builds up, and by the end of watching the show, it was very noticeable. The show is goated, not much to say. Okay, I know 5 seconds ago I was being kinda mean, but in my opinion the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Although I should probably acknowledge that I am biased because this is the show that made me a Transformers fan after all. Anyways, my one request of you guys in the comments section is to tell me which Transformers show I should watch next, because I almost finished Cyberverse and I've been watching it for like a week and that's kinda concerning.